Why, hello there, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at WILDMAN Lives. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now, I'm back outside for a very long time. I've been doing a lot of videos on indoor gyms, which has been beneficial because it's been very hot. And you can see I've got my trusty summer umbrella here to protect me from this summer heat, because it is a scorcher today. I've got deadlifts today, and I think the heat's actually going to help because my left hamstring has really been bothering me, especially like on squats. I've really felt it on squats. So I'm hoping that if I put the chains on today and just kind of see where I'm at, then maybe I could resume my road to 500 in a safe manner. So chains is a whole lot easier on the hamstring, and you can overload it at the top. So this will be interesting. Also going to be doing a bunch of other stuff as well in the summer heat. So let's get started. Now for today's strength giant set on this very hot day, I'm going to be starting off by throwing that rock over my shoulder. One of the greatest exercises to do in order to prep your whole muscles for a deadlift. Then I gingerly move between all these exercises, but the next one's going to be the chains deadlift. So that's going to be 45 pounds of chains total on whatever weight the bar that is on that I'm picking up. I'm going to be working up to a rep max today to see where I'm at. And then I'm going to do some weighted ab mat sit-ups. I find this is a great exercise to do on deadlift day because it works the antagonistic portion of your back. And jump ropes. Jump ropes are always my favorite thing to do because it also warms everything up, including my rotator cuffs, which is important for the deadlift. That's going to be the strength giant set for the day. So I actually hurt my hamstring like maybe 2 episodes ago of Road to 500. And I switched over to wagon wheels in order to kind of focus more on the lockout portion, which is working more on my upper back rather than my hamstrings. And I felt like that was good enough. So now instead of just, trying to see where I'm at on a standard barbell and going balls to the wall, all gas, no brakes, I wanted to test with the chains first because at least with the chains, it's lighter on the bottom. And then when I get to the knee section where the upper back needs to take over, I've worked that enough where I think I'll be strong enough to pull it still. It's just really getting it off the floor that I'm really most scared about because of that hamstring that I need to test today. So I'd rather play it safe. And I must say that I was actually finding my hamstring to be pretty good. I was kind of shocked because I thought it was definitely going to be a whole lot worse and feel a whole lot worse than it did. Right around the 430 pounds total, I think, that's where I started feeling the hamstring, and I was getting a little nervous about that. But the good part is because it's so hot, it actually is good for my hamstring because I made sure that I was super hydrated before I came out because it was hot. So that makes me want to drink more water. But also because of the heat, I actually am able to get more blood pumping to that area and it gets warm a lot quicker than it would if it was in the winter or if it was cold outside. Plus doing the stone over the shoulder, the ab mat weighted sit-ups, and the jump rope, all of that is designed to kind of warm up the body and to make sure that I'm feeling the best that I can and I'm most primed. So when I get to the top weight, I have no doubts. So the heat ended up being a good thing and a bad thing. Number one, my hamstring felt warm, but the heat was also draining my battery from being outside for so long. So I was kind of like an internal struggle between the two. But really, this was going to be my top set because I thought this was the most I was going to be able to do since coming back with the hamstring injury because I felt like this would be a safe weight to do and how everything was feeling moving up. But it should have been because look how slow this goes. Like it kind of goes super slow. And I was too afraid to use my hamstring still. So I was really isolating my upper back a whole lot more than what I was supposed to. But you know me, against my better judgment, I'm out here, I'm feeling good, it's hot, why not push it? So I ended up loading the bar with it'd be 460 pounds at the very bottom of the lift and 500 pounds at the top. And I'd be super ecstatic if I hit this. And for the Instagram, I want to make sure that I get the best shot. So I didn't want to be shaded. So I had to move that umbrella out of the way just for a moment. Boy, that bar got hot just from being out there for a short amount of time. So this is going to be 500 pounds. And I was going to be super happy if I could lift this. And I've been doing all that wagon wheel work and it really kicked in right here because I got off the ground pretty quick. But right when I got it to my knee, then it was just the lockout strength. And I really credit that to the wagon wheel training because that really works that portion right there where it gets sticky and you have to use some other muscles like your upper back in order to lock it out. So really happy I was able to do that. Felt good, felt right. Just glad I hit it and I did not die or get a worse injury than what I was already experiencing. All right. I could not be happier with this result because, like I said, my left hamstring has been giving me some issues. And when I was lifting 500 pounds total, right around the knee area, I kind of felt like it was an uncomfortable pull, and I thought about giving up. But fortunately, I decided just to grin and bear through it, and I was able to pull that. And I always feel a whole lot better when I'm pulling my goals all the time. So this was excellent. And now I can move on with the rest of the workout, and I continue on the road to 500, where it's 500 pounds on the bar and not just the chains. Otherwise, this would be the second time I've done this, and we can just call it a wrap. Let's jump into the rest of the workout. Now for the variation giant set, I was doing 3 rounds, and I'm going to be doing the snatch grip deadlift. So what this does is it makes it a lot harder to get off the ground because your hands are so out wide. But then when you're doing it for reps, that really builds that upper back, which is super important for lockout. I've been doing snatch grip deadlifts since I've been doing the road to 500, and I have noticed that my lifts have gone up significantly since doing it. So the idea was just to kind of work up to a 6 rep max with 335 pounds. And then as I was doing that, I was also continuing to do the same format as the strength giant set, which is that stone over the shoulder, the weighted ab mat sit-ups, and the jump ropes, just to keep everything nice and even to the end. For the assistance giant set, I was doing just 1 round. And the idea was just to lift this stone 1 time because my muscles were very fatigued from doing all that deadlift work. And I brought that umbrella over with me because that rock is super hot. So I put the umbrella over it for a while and tried to shade it so that way I was able to pick it up and wasn't going to burn my arms off. But I felt comfortable just doing one since the muscles were so fatigued. Then I immediately moved over and did some straight arm lat pull downs with that really powerful braided band. It has a lot of tension in it. And the idea is just to work the back. But this is really good for deadlift because it keeps the bar close to your shins, which is what you need. It's that same movement. It also brings the barbell out of the rack when you're doing a bench press. So kind of a twofer right here. And then I didn't do the weighted ab mat portion. I just did ab mat sit-ups, and I just did as many as I could, just kind of like an AMRAP, just to kind of burn it out and really make sure that my abs are feeling it by the time I'm done so that they can help for the next time. And for the accessory giant set, I was doing 3 rounds, and I'm staying in the shade smartly. Now I'm doing some static bicep holds with, again, that really powerful tension braided band. Really just trying to make sure that I'm isolating that bicep movement because the biceps have been taking a beating from the deadlifts and the stones. And then hitchhikers, which is something I love to do on my back days. As you know, I keep talking about it, so I'm not going to keep doing it. Then I did a movement that I find super helpful on deadlift days. I find that it really builds those muscles that are fatigued after you're doing deadlift. I believe it's called a staggered Romanian deadlift with a twist. Works the back, obliques, and hamstrings. But I just call them look backs because if you actually master looking back, it activates all the muscles that you need to do and it makes sure you do the motion correctly. All right, so that's going to conclude it for today's very hot, sweaty, and dry heat workout. Really appreciate everybody stopping by. Really glad on the progress I made today. And you know the real winner of today is this umbrella. I would not be out here right now if it was for this bad boy. So I really appreciate the umbrella stopping by and you stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.